All right. Today is December the 1st, 2013. Today we're going to be talking about homeschooling. My name is Justin Smith, and this is for Communications 110, Section YB. Let me pose you with the question: how do you feel your children are being educated in public schools or private schools? Anybody?
I think that the school programs need to be more updated and more advanced teaching and prepare the students for the future for college.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, probably what you didn't know is that students that are homeschooled tend to score 30% percentile higher than a student who goes to a conventional school or a private school. What we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about homeschooling. We're going to be talking about the benefits of homeschooling, options that the parents have, and we're also going to be talking about the problem that we have with education today. Excuse me. The first thing we're going to be talking about is homeschooling. In 1972, the United States Supreme Court passed a law in all 50 states allowing parents the option to administrate education to their own child. Homeschooling has always been, for the better word, shadowed by private schools and conventional schools. A lot of times, the reason why parents do not know a lot about homeschooling is due to media or the traditional values that they've been accustomed to since before the beginning of the time. Also, homeschooling has plenty of benefits far as the parent is more involved in the child's education, the environment, outside variables. They're also more in tune to the child's specific needs as far as being educated, or the better off education of their child and their child's future. Excuse me. And a lot of times, parents don't even know how to deal with the education of their child in the everyday life, as far as paying bills, dealing with outside variables that they deal with on a daily basis, or just lack of being tired and the lack of energy to be concerned with what the child's been administrated at school on a daily basis. And a lot of times the schools are not administrating the regulations for teachers more. They're giving the lesson plans to teachers that are administrated by the government, and the teacher, better yet, has to deal with 20 to 30 students. And they're not able to give that one-on-one environment that a lot of students can better benefit from with homeschooling that they will have. Also, a lot of times the teachers are not properly trained on how to administrate the information given to the students. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people don't know the other outside variables that the child's dealing with in school, as far as the lack of supplies, the children that they're being pit around, the overall environment of the class, or the attitude that the teachers have towards the children. And with homeschooling, all that's in the parent's control. The parent has complete knowledge and control of everything that their child's involved with, such as the things I just mentioned to. Plus, also, it builds a better relationship between the child and the parent. And you can still have a social status with the child can still have a social life. All they have to do is just, after they're done with the lesson plans for the day, get the child in some kind of sport, some kind of activity where it involves other children their age. Allow the child to have some kind of playtime. Mm-hmm. And these are all things that you can have by going to the HSHA Association website, where they have all the contact information on things that you need to know, or information you need to have about homeschooling your child, the type of criteria you need in order to homeschool your child, and the type of background you would need. It also shows study that parents, you don't necessarily have to be educated to have your child be in that 30% percentile over the standard students. Studies show that uneducated parents still score an 83% percentile of overall scores. And it also shows that parents with at least one parent with at least a college degree tend to score a tad bit higher. And of course, household with two educated parents or college degrees tend to score even higher, because they know better on how to administrate education, because they went through the extra variables needed to, get their education. And in my conclusion, what we're going to be talking about is, how homeschooling, how to find out about homeschooling, how to get parents more involved with their children by going to PTA meetings, possibly, get more close relationship with the teachers or the administrative. Also, we talked about how homeschooling has better advantages than conventional schooling. We also talked about how it's a better all experience for your child. And my name is Justin Smith. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Has anybody that went to homeschooling, have they went to college themselves, or?
Well, actually, there was a young lady a few months ago on news where she is actually going to Harvard University for her master's at the age of 14. And that's because her parents had been homeschooling. Yeah, 14. Her parents had been homeschooling her since she was of age to be schooled. And by her father administrating the information he does, she's been able to excel tremendously with that one-on-one environment. And there's things that we can do to fix the problem, as far as being more demanding of our government to increase funding for education. That's the main problem right now, is the lack of funds for education. Also, having more teachers in the classroom setting. It allows more students to have a more one-on-one, those who are a little bit more needy.
True. I agree with that.
But is there any more questions?
No, that's it.
All right, my name is Justin Smith, and this is my presentation.